the fuck is that? The easy pickings is chained down. Oh.
You just had to fucking say something, man. Yeah, he's chained down. Yeah, now he fucking flies. Great.
What's good with you boys? My name is Wally, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over Splatoon Raiders and why I think it's one of the bangers that Nintendo put out on this system. One thing I don't think enough people talk about is Nintendo's variable pricing. Not every first-party game launches at the same price anymore. Instead, Nintendo seems to be pricing games based on the type of experience that they're offering. And honestly, I think Splatoon Raiders is a pretty good value game for what you're getting. Instead of charging full price just because it's a Nintendo game, Raiders comes out at around $50 to $60. And after playing it, I feel like it matches the amount of content that you're getting. So I'm about 15 hours in, and I've just rolled the credits in Splatoon Raiders, and I can honestly say it was an amazing game. At its core, the whole game is all about growth and progression. When you first start off, the movement is slow, the abilities take forever to come off a cooldown, and you get one shot by the little guys because you don't have enough health, and the big guys take forever to kill because they have an overwhelming amount of health. But that's what makes this game super satisfying. The more you play, the more you unlock. So as you keep playing the game, your character becomes stronger, but at the same time, you as a player also become stronger. The game has a bunch of different enemies that have different strategies you'll need to involve to take them down. The more time you spend in combat, the more everything starts to click, and eventually you'll be able to master the game's systems. My favorite strategies that I like to use was the Flywire, which lets you sling onto people like your Deku from My Hero, and then the Splatterlights, which drops an AoE satellite that destroys all the smaller guys. So I was able to latch onto the flying enemies and then use the Splatterlights to just do AoE in the air while I would take care of the bigger guys, and then if I landed, the Splatterlights would take care of all the small guys that are at my feet. That was my favorite personal strategy. Another thing I like with this game is they said it's supposed to be a single-player game. And while yes, you can do all the missions and all the dungeons single-player, I really think multiplayer enhances this game. One of my favorite parts about Salmon Run as the game mode is that you got to work together as a team to collaboratively win the level. And as a single player, you kind of get the experience because you have an NPC with you, but not exactly the full thing. So when playing with other people, it's a lot fun. The bosses get a lot harder, substantially harder. I was playing online with my boy, and the boss had like 4 times the normal amount of HP, and we only had 1 extra life to make the difference. They also added a mode where if you're generally stuck on a level, you can press call for help. And if you have an online subscription and you're connected to the internet, you can call random people into your lobby. They will help you out. And then once you beat the level, you're put on a 30-minute timer to get help again online. So it was very interesting how they did that system. When you're with your friends, however, you can just keep queuing up. The game's a lot of fun, though, as a single-player game, but I think it's 10 times better as a multiplayer game with your friends online. So one thing I want to talk about is the graphics. I haven't really experienced too much lag or anything of that nature. The graphics looked amazing. I've been playing in 4K 60 FPS, and honestly, I'm surprised the Switch 2 is able to handle this. I remember in the very last level of Donkey Kong Bonanza, the game started to stutter a lot. With this game, there's a lot happening on the screen, and I'm surprised that it doesn't stutter or falter at all. I've been playing online with my friends as well. There hasn't been any stuttering via internet connection or anything like that either. So the game runs amazing, crisp quality at 4K 60 FPS, and I'm honestly surprised that Nintendo managed to pull this off on the Switch 2 system. I really like the hidden levels that they added into the game. So whenever you do a raid, certain levels will have compasses. If you go and find the hidden compass, you'll unlock a secret level. The secret level usually doesn't have any PvE to do. It's usually a platforming challenge. It reminded me a lot of Mario Galaxy. What you'll do is you'll use the abilities in-game to platform. So there's Splatterlights, for example. There was one where you had to use the Splatterlights to break a bunch of crates. There's another one where you have to smash a bunch of crates. Another one where you use the Splat Dash and the Splat Jump to platform through the level. A lot of races to the finish. A lot of using the boomerangs to destroy a bunch of balloons. It was very interesting. I wasn't expecting a bunch of platforming challenges with the abilities they give you in the game. It kind of just enhanced the overall experience. So I really enjoyed that part of the game. It was a lot of fun. So now that I beat the game and unlocked the post-game is a lot more fleshed out than the main story. The post-game has a lot of content that I need to tackle. They went through every single level and added a super salty mode, which made every enemy stronger and added a lot more enemies to each level. So it'll be very interesting. I saw that some of the level caps were level 80, and I'm pretty sure the levels only go up to 50 in the game. So I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to tackle that. Maybe online with my friends. But that was very cool that they added so much to the post-game. They also saved some of the base mechanics and upgrades to the post-game as well. Another thing is whenever you beat the game, you also unlock another tier for your gadgets and gear. So there's also, you can farm for better gadgets and gear as well, suited for the post-game. So I'm honestly surprised how much they saved for the post-game, because I thought I had seen it all by the time the game ended. One thing I would add like to see is a lot more gadgets. There's only 4 per tank class. It'd be cool to have a lot more to choose from there. Another thing that I'm interested in is I saw games like Mario Kart World and Mario Tennis. They got DLC patches later on. Not really DLC, but just like additional content patches. So I guess DLC. I'd be very interested to see if this game gets something like that. Not that it needs it, because of course we're super early in. But it'd be cool if I farm for the best gear possible, and then later on they add an expansion pass or something extra for me to do with my farmed out gear once I get everything maxed out. When you look at the games on the Switch too, like Donkey Kong Bonanza, Mario Kart World, and Pokopia, those are some certified bangers. I think this game deserves to be in the banger tier as well. It offers the same amount of fun as those games. There's just so much content to do in this game, as well as the game is cheaper than those games. So I feel like this game is just a banger overall. I really enjoyed this game for what it was, and I generally think this is a good pickup on the Switch 2. It used the Switch 2's hardware to the fullest capability. There was no lag or stuttering. You're able to play online with your friends, and there's just so much you can do in this game. If you haven't picked up this game, I really recommend it. With that being said, those are my thoughts on the game. I want to thank you for watching. Until the next video. Later.